Hello, hope you're doing well. This video is specifically produced for a new friend who has sent me an email and seems to have a little bit of a challenge. In other words, he's another normal person because only normal people have challenges and breakups and feeling and sadness and so on and so forth. Otherwise, if nobody goes through these sort of things, that person really is not normal, with normal feelings, with normal human challenges and so on. So that is a good news to see another normal young man is going through these stages that every one of us at one time or another has gone or will go. Every one of us has gone and everybody else will go. It's just not possible to not have these experiences. The challenge is not the fact, oh, this has happened to me, now what do I do? The challenge is that, okay, it finally happened, and I'm glad the sooner the better, because it gives me certain kind of insight and information about this experience, and then it'll help me to sooner to know this experience and knowledge. So before I'm really old enough to make a choice for my life, I have enough information to know how to use this information to help me when I'm really ready, when it's really the time to find a partner for my life. And so these preliminary warm-up games, let's say, it's a blessing. So, in my opinion, right off the bat, let me tell you, you have nothing to worry about, nothing to be bothered with, nothing to really think it's out of the ordinary or it shouldn't have happened. It should have. Why? Because how else can nature teach you that your selection was incorrect? But because of your age, in this age, it is very easy to make a mistake in selection. Why? Because in that age, we have no way of knowing what selection process is, how to choose a girlfriend, what to look for, what to expect from them. Why? Because we really haven't made anything out of ourselves. We don't know what is our own worth. We don't know what is our capabilities, what we can accomplish in this life, what we can produce. So if we don't know any of that, how can we really know what we should be looking for or expect from a girlfriend and demand or have an idea of how they should be? Because we don't really have much of a respect or worth or value for ourselves already, because we don't know who we are. We don't know what we can do. We don't know what our capabilities and expertise, level of wisdom, level of ability to negotiate with life is. So really, we're kind of at the mercy of whoever really likes us. We're boys. If she's got a good body, she's pretty, and she likes us, well, that's all we care about. And then we wonder later on why it didn't work out. Well, it didn't work out because you didn't demand anything. I mean, when you were accepting resumes for a possible girlfriend, there was no criteria for her attributes, qualifications, nothing. That part was empty. In other words, nobody had to fill anything. All we cared about was, it's a girl, this height, this looks, this body, and turns me on. Pretty much. We don't have to say it in that way, but really, if you look into your mind, that was your expectation of a girlfriend. So you got one. You got one exactly as you wanted. What you wanted is not really the right choice, but what you wanted was exactly according to what you had in your mind. And when you don't have anything specific in your mind, then whatever else you get, which fulfills and satisfies your physical needs, seems like to be the right choice to you. Because you had no other criteria for it. If there's no other criteria, then anything fits. You know? It's very simple. Now, having said all that, which I'm sure you may have heard similar things of it that I've said in some of the videos, how to select a girlfriend, and if it was your real best, if it was love or lust, and all these things, which I'm sure you can go and find them. There's so many kinds. You're right. I've probably filled out, discussed every angle of these post-breakup pains and reasons and wisdom behind it and all that. So you can find lots of information there. But I wanted to give you a personal support and personal discussion to first of all tell you, you're not alone. You're not the only one who's gone through this or is going through this. Every one of us fell for some nice looking leg or nice looking hair or nice looking face or nice smile or warm hug or I don't know, a needy look or sad look or disappointed look, or we felt like we were going to save her from her situation. That guy is an asshole for her. She is better than that. She deserves me. I'll take care of her. These are all the things that goes through our mind because we always like to feel we are better than the other people, and we probably are. But when it comes to a girl, it's not just the girl that you want, you also feel as if you are a savior to her, to her problems. When you see a girl who's not being treated well, or you think she's not being treated well, that's how she makes you think that she's not being treated well. Or because you really like her, the way she looks, you feel that she should be put on a pedestal and she should be the queen of the world, and that's how you want to treat her. So then you think, she deserves a lot more than this, and then you go to the rescue. So that kind of a feeling will create a little bit of a responsibility in your part, and then put so much of an interest from your part and emotions on the whole relationship, which is really shouldn't be. You're at the age of 20 years old. It's not an age to choose anyone for anything really long term. It's a time for you to try to see how it goes with different girls. Maybe, 6 months or a year, 3-4 months, depending on how things work out. But you shouldn't have that expectation of a long-term, lifelong partner thing to be disappointed like this so badly. If it goes well that far, well, great. But seldom that happens. So you go in with an expectation of it to be a lifelong story, then you're surprised why it's not, because it wasn't supposed to be and you shouldn't have expected it to be. I know it's too much to ask from your age. And I know it's not reasonable for me to expect you to know these things. But that's the way it is. Now you know. At this age, you shouldn't expect much from the girls that you choose, because first of all, they're not ready either. They're just trying things and they don't know themselves. They don't know what they want. There's so many things that they, could be interested later on, or so many, so many insecurities that they have. And they try to remedy that by allowing other boys pay attention to them, because that gives them a sense of a worth, especially if they're not really rooted and they really don't know much about themselves, and their upbringing or values have not been set or introduced to them in a certain way. Then they would be very easily susceptible to things, weird things or shallow things, in order to achieve or attain a certain kind of a value for themselves, because there's no other thing that they have done in their life to bring value to them. It's not like they finished their education, or they're good at some work, or they're specialist in something, or they've done so much experience and good work in life to know that they have got some value, and then therefore they expect to from themselves to have somebody worthwhile, and don't be interested in this person's attention and that person's attention and this person's attention, because they don't see that much of a value in themselves. So they think that's how they can, by getting attention, that's how they can make themselves feel, oh, I'm somebody. So it's not your fault. You haven't done anything to cause her not liking you. It's not the fact that you were not good enough. It's the fact that they weren't good enough to be with you. Because just because somebody's not with you, that's not a reflection on you. That's a reflection on them, that they couldn't have deserved or understand the value that you have in you and you were offering. They weren't sure of themselves to be able to be in a normal, committed, loyal relationship. They didn't know what they wanted. And what they wanted was not the relationship they were in, because they didn't know the worth and value of that relationship, because they didn't know the worth and value of themselves. They were still trying to prove to themselves that they're somebody. How? By just going here and there and saying yes to anybody who comes along to be friend with, or anything else, I don't know. First thing you got to do, you got to understand that this is not the end of the world. For God's sake, if the world was only hanging on the decision and approval of a woman or a girl at age 20, or I don't know how old she is, 21, 22, or 18, 17, I don't know what. If the world is waiting for approval of a young woman to you, so in that way you know your place in the world and how life is and the value of life, and God, I feel sorry for all of us. So get your act together, look at it with a focusing lens to see the detail of the whole thing, and then completely let it go, because this is not the relationship that worth even pursuing or being bothered by. Now let me tell you, what are you bothered with? You're not bothered that you don't have her. Let me tell you a little story. A long time ago, I went fishing. I went fishing with a Japanese friend of mine. We were both businessmen, and we were doing business. And he said, I want to go fishing. And I knew this river mouth that opens to the ocean, that was the best place for fishing. I said, oh, I know where to go. We can go there. I'd never fished before, first time. So I bought the rods and everything. And we went there early morning, 7 o'clock. We were right at the bank. And we started. And there were other fishermen there too, doing sports fishing. So it took us about 12 hours until 7 o'clock at night. Got nothing. The next day I went again 7 o'clock. It was a weekend time, 7 o'clock in the morning. And again toward 7 o'clock at night, still nothing. Suddenly, I felt a catch. Oh my God, okay. And I don't know really what to do. There was a fisherman, experienced fisherman there. And while I was doing this, and that fish jumped up and down about 40, 50 meters into the ocean. I was right at the mouth of the river where it meets the ocean. And this experienced fisherman says, hey, slow down on this, slow down on this. This is a 40-pounder fish. 40 pound? I think so, something like that. I don't remember exactly. It was a long time ago. It was a big fish, he said. He said, be patient with this. This is going to take a long time. So he taught me, and I did this, and then he was fighting, so got to let it go, and then reel it in, and then was fighting, and I had to let it go, and then reel it in. It took about 15, 20 minutes, this back and forth fight. And the point of the story is, by that time, because of this fight, because of this back and forth, response, division of us, not wanting to come with me, I had to compromise. I had to pull. That one, she had to pull. All these things created a certain respect in my mind for this. Why? Not because I knew the fish and it was from a respectable family or anything. I didn't know the fish. All I could think of was, some good, fish kebab or something. But the time and effort and the mind and energy and the experience and the interaction with this entity had caused me to get to understand the investment that I had put into this catch, into this relationship. That was a relationship with my fish. So in fact, I was now hoping that it would release itself and go, because I had created a certain value for the fish that I knew nothing of all, and it could be like any other fish in the ocean. How did I know? Probably a lot better ones out there. But because of the time and the energy that I spent on it, I had given her value because of the time that I had spent from my own side. That's all I could see. And this was the time and the effort. The time and the effort that I spent was the reason that I liked or had respect for her. Not because that fish was something so magical or a mermaid or something. Now, you too. The reason you're really missing her, or you think you're missing her, because there was lots of story and bullshit involved that got you involved from the long time ago. She went and she did. I call that cheat. I don't care if she says, I come back, please forgive me. That you left, you gone there for some reason. Now that I can see that she's with this boy and that boy, you're telling me, then obviously even then, whether she did something or not doesn't matter, but the idea that she wasn't sure of herself and she was trying to satisfy her shortcomings of character by allowing the intention of others making her feel good about herself. That's a problem. Problem for someone who needs other people's attention to feel good about herself. I don't care if she's Raquel Welch. I don't know if your age allows you to know who Raquel Welch is. Raquel Welch was the bombshell, most beautiful, sexiest woman on earth at the time when I was 15 or 20 years old. Mind you, she's still gorgeous, I think. So I don't care what kind of a woman, how beautiful a woman is, when a woman needs other people's attentions constantly, and not a cordial, polite, smart compliments or attention. It's real cheesy attention, or somebody actually wanting to hit on her. I mean, if that's what she needs, that's not your type. So what does it take for you to get it to your head that that's a blessing that you're not together? What did you want? You wanted to get married with her and then find out that she needs other men's attention or other friends? Is that when you wanted to figure it out? Isn't it great that you now know it now? When you're young and you've got so much things ahead of you, opportunities, friends. But the fact is, you're sitting on your ass and sulking about some girl of no special talent or qualification in life, education, social status, and social abilities, and whatever. And you're just thinking that was life? Is that the whole meaning of this whole vast life universe, that we're here just so one piece of figure, pretty woman, or whatever you want to call it? And I assure you, you call her what you call her, as wonderful as she is, Not because she really is, because you haven't really been with so many beautiful girls, or so many girls for that matter at all. So even if she was half as beautiful as she is now, it would have looked like the world to you, because you're at the age that when you're really getting some, it really means a lot and does wonder for your, social life and so your confidence and so on. And right now, what you're missing is really the time you invested in her, the battles that you went through, the stories that you went through with her, the sacrifices that you did, the forgivenesses and compromises and discussions and angers and fights that you went through. That whole energy is the investment that you put in it. That's what you're hanging on, and that's what you're missing, because you used to identify yourself with her. And because of all these interactions that I just mentioned, you feel like that was a way for you to know yourself. So you kind of know yourself through that sort of a relationship, which is okay when it was going to be respectful, loyal, of good quality. When if it's not, then you gotta go for so many wonderful girls out there who deserve your care. And don't be so sad right now because I said who deserve your care. And you say, oh, that means she doesn't deserve. No, I love her, she deserves it. No, don't be like that. Be a little bit thoughtful and caring and respectful to yourself. She's not the one who deserved the respect and love you gave her. You gave her all these because you wanted to have someone that you would be able to give all these wonderful things that you gave her, the feeling and love and attention, so on. She didn't deserve it. You deserved it. You wanted it for yourself because you wanted to see yourself in a relationship where you would have a girl that you would give her all this attention. And that's great, but go do it with somebody else. Really. Why would you want to offer someone wonderful stuff when that someone is settled for the lower end of the barrel, lower stuff? Why do you have to put a wonderfully cooked dish with a wonderful secret recipe of your family in front of someone who's neither hungry or she doesn't know that kind of a elaborate cooking? She would be fine with a, I don't know, McDonald's. Be a little bit thoughtful about yourself. Don't constantly give credits to the women who you've been nice and good to them and they left. And don't sit down and say, well, I wasn't so nice that so and so date, I wasn't really as good. We're not talking about that. We're talking about what she's done and how she's behaved you in general, comparing to how you have behaved in general, not in particulars. You know, the fact is, she's done what she's done. The things she's done, she's lied, she's gone, she's come back, she's gone, she's come back, she's gone. You keep saying, okay, I forgive you. What forgive you for what? What? Don't you have any respect for yourself? Why do you forgive her? What? Something wrong with you? You may think that you can't get another girl because that's how you think of yourself. But I assure you, there's lots of girls out there, which you need to find someone that you like, her looks, but also her mind and manners. So you can trust her. There's no trust with that girl. So how could you be missing it? You should be really happy that this is over. And you simply have to understand that you're not really missing her. You're missing you, because that whole thing was how your image was formed. You had formed an image of yourself. Image of having a girlfriend, image of having these interactions, fights, and back and forth, and stories, and that was the image you had created for yourself. And now that image is not there. She's not with you, so you think something wrong with you. You think there's something missing in you. You're not missing her. You're missing your image that you had created. through this relationship. So just forget it. That wasn't a good image. Go, 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 go. See yourself as you are, not in the form of an image. That image is past. That image is dead. That image doesn't exist. The relationship is dead. The relationship is not there. It wasn't worth that relationship to continue. It was not a healthy relationship. Be reasonable and be wise and go count your stars that this happened right now. Sometimes I found in my life there were girls that I couldn't have the heart to say no to them, or that, listen, it's not working. I always felt responsible that I should take care of them. I should be nice to them. What are they going to do? You know, well, what about the kind of life and love and care and protection and attention that I can give them? That is, because I can give the best, therefore I would be denying them from that wonderful things that I can give her. Then that would mean I'm not a good person. I'm a selfish person maybe, because what I can give her and make a good life for her, and I'm not denying her. So all that was playing into my mind and not be able to end it. And thank God the universe could see all these things and would end it for me. Somehow either she would leave or something would come up that we would just part. I thank God. And every time I said, oh, wow, this was a bad one. I mean, that was the best one, and I don't know if I get that. Then next one was, this is the best one. I'm glad that one is gone now. I'm with this one. Then that one did not work out. Oh, I'm so sorry. Then the other one, how can I find another one better than this? And this was the best. No. Then another, because this is nature's way to constantly get people that are not the right partner for you out of your way, whether you want it or not. Out of your way, because it's not the way it's going to be designed to match. When the match doesn't happen, naturally the energy is not there to keep the bond together. And that's the way for the nature to let the bond fall apart and everybody go away to find some real bonding situation for themselves. Until it would come to the time that everything fits. Loyalty, trust, and everything. At least for a long while. And then once you get married and have children, and a few years passes, then it falls apart. Then you go and you've got to redo it all. So if that love and children, family can fall apart, and then you got to start over, well, then this is nothing. This is the natural way. This is the best time of your life, that you don't have to worry about things having fallen apart because there's no children, no nothing, and you can just start over with someone more deserving, better, who would treat you better, and it would give you relaxing, focusing abilities to your life and challenges, school, or whatever it is that you're doing. And things will work out just perfectly. You're making too much out of this. This is not exclusive to you. All of us gone through this. And every one of us thought, oh, that's the end of the world. That was the best one. You know that. You've seen my videos. So, let's see what we should do now. Because if you understand all these things, but the problem is that you're depressed, well, you're depressed because obviously natural. You've been used to somebody in some situation. Now it's not there. My God, if I have a soccer ball and I lose it, I'll miss it. Let alone if it's a girl that I, had a relationship with, It's not a simple thing to be 20-year-old and sleep with a woman and then not there. It's a big thing, but it's a big thing because of your age and your amount of experience in relationship. It's not a big thing later on. Right now it's a big thing. So give it time. In the meantime, do the things that are positive. I have a video that tells you how you continue on until time passes, because time heals. Why? Because you realize that there is a life out there without her. And she was no life. If she was life, she would have stayed. And then you will realize by doing the things that you like to do, doing the things that are your responsibilities, doing the things that you need to do and accomplish, you will soon realize that you're associating with people, socializing and doing your things. And because you're doing your responsibilities, you feel good about yourself. You feel like you're doing something, you're positive. And soon enough, you realize, oh, there's a world out there. And it's not dependent on this relationship or that relationship with her or this girl or that guy. There's a world out there that there are so many relationships in that world. But as long as you don't go out to the world and enjoy life and do things you got to do, attend to your responsibilities, and so on and so forth, go out with your friends, do your studies, do your work, and all these things, you won't realize there's a world out there. And then you will think, I'm alone, I'm depressed. Well, you make yourself alone. You don't give yourself a chance to not be alone. And then you wonder, why am I feeling like this? So please go on, and I'm going to put a link for you down here. I think one of the links that you can perhaps look and follow that. And find other things. I've added so many other things. Now, I've added lots of philosophical things. And they're about how mind thinks and how it functions. And you can also listen to that. Just increase your wealth of knowledge. And treat yourself well. Don't be so hard on yourself, and don't be depressed. Depressed for what? Are you really trying to tell me that our life is all summarized in one relationship? And if that doesn't work and she goes with somebody else, and boy, suddenly the world has come to an end, she goes wherever she goes, that's where she deserves. You're not supposed to think, oh, because she's with somebody else, that means that somebody else is better than me. That means I'm less. That means I don't feel good about myself. I'm not worthy enough, because I would feel worthy enough if she would be with me, not with them. But because she's with them, that means I am not as good as them, or they're better than me. This comparing feeling is what is bugging you, which you really should say, she wasn't good, and she's with people who are not good enough either for, they're not good either. Definitely they're not they're not up to my standards. Therefore she deserves whoever she's with. Therefore I'm glad I'm not with someone who accepts these other people to be with. I'm not like them, so I don't want to be with her either. Definitely. Not that she doesn't want to be with me. I don't want to be with her either. That's how you really should look at it, because that's true. That's a fact. She's not with you, and you shouldn't want to be with her. Why should you want to be with anybody that doesn't want to be with you? Doesn't make a good equation. Go on. Please go on. Experience life. Respect life. Love life. And then you will see there's so much out there that you wouldn't even think of this. Right now you do, because you're zoomed on. You back up, let the time pass by, and you'll see the whole story much better, and you won't even want to focus on it. Go focus on what is really real, not focus on something that is dead. It's not there. It's finished. The whole relationship is gone. It's not in existence. So why you think about something that doesn't exist? It's in the memory. Memory is not a reality. Memory is just an illusion. The reality is you watching this tape right now, and then what you're going to do later, next day, tomorrow, with friends, new places, do things. Get yourself busy until time passes on, and then everything will be okay. I assure you. It's not exclusive to you. We all gone through it, and you'll be fine too. And please watch the 2 links that I put for you down there, and let me know how you're doing, because you should take responsibility about your mood and everything. Do something about it. The mood won't just come by itself. You understand these things, analyze it, look at the tapes and so on, and have a good time. Enjoy, make life. Life is not going to come to you. You go and meet life, yeah? Okay. Nice talking to you, and talk to you later.